from the Fox Den. This is Bad Guys and Birdman. I'm Courtney B.
I'm Taylor DeYoung.
And we have a special guest.
That we do.
Hi.
Can you introduce him for us?
Alex Gaskarth.
Hello.
Introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi, I'm Alex Gaskarth from All Time Low, Simple Creatures, various music projects throughout the universe and beyond.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now you're here to talk Avengers Endgame.
I am. I'm excited about this. Thank you guys for hitting me up. This is great.
I'm super excited.
Yeah.
All right, so to begin the episode, we're going to open up two different items. We have Whistle Pig whiskey. That's our whiskey for the show.
We got that in Flat Yard.
And then
boxing.
We did. Yeah, we did. And then in honor of Alex, we have some Full Tilts here. Alex, tell us a little bit about
this.
India Pale Ale. Sorry.
IPA.
Hops the cat.
So this story begins last year. Well, it begins way before that, but for me it begins last year. A few friends of mine have been making homebrews years and years ago. They sort of transitioned that into canning their own beers. They were brewing out of Peabody here in Baltimore.
Oh, dope. Okay.
But obviously anyone that knows how the beer world works, you can't get all the official brewers accolades until you brew in-house. So the next step for them was getting a space and taking it to the next level. This was one of the first ones I tried, Hops the Cat. It kind of sold me on the brewery, and I invested.
Okay.
We got a space in like Roland Park area, Towson. And we've been cruising ever since. I'm happy for him.
7.4.
It's a hefty beer.
It's 7.4 is serious.
It's a big boy.
All right, let's cheers it up.
Gosh. All
Should I
right.
cheers. Stone Cold Steve Austin this thing?
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
All right, let's see. All right.
Yeah, hop forward.
Very hoppy but tasty.
But it's not. It doesn't.
Very tasty. Yeah.
The reason why I love this IPA is because a lot of people are making IPAs these days, and a lot of them leave you with a lot of that back end. Like this one is kind of very drinkable. You can have a few of them and not feel too weighed down.
I like it, man.
You certainly feel a little drunk.
Okay.
I'm into this one.
I mean, depending.
I like that quite a bit. All right, we're going to be drinking two things. That is one of them. Let's go ahead and toast with these real fast.
And,
we'll get into the Whistle Pig.
Whistle Pig.
Very excited about that.
I don't know if I've had Whistle Pig. Which one is this?
This is the old 10-year. This is the most common
10-year
Whistle
straight
Pig,
rye. Cool.
I think. So
I'm a fan of Whistle Pig.
Sharp.
indeed.
Very sharp.
Yep.
But
First impressions on that? On both. Let's start off with the India Pale Ale. You're into it? You like it?
I like it.
Okay.
It's 7.4. It's hoppy and tasty. Sometimes, like you said, you get that back end bitter taste from a lot of IPAs. You don't get that here. So
Nice.
Kudos, man.
That's what.
Kudos, bro.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's what sold me on this brewery and getting involved, and I love it. I'm biased. I'm not going to review this one because I've drank it. It's the best you've ever had.
Indeed.
Drink more. Consume
It
more.
is really
Hops the
good.
Cat.
It's not, I'm not hyping it up just because he's here. This is really
Thank you.
Fantastic. All right.
And Whistle Pig, very sharp.
Oh, and by the way, the brewery is called Full Tilt for anyone that didn't.
Oh, yeah.
I get it. It's Full Tilt Brewers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The most important part.
Right.
Yeah. Where'd you get it?
Yes.
Breathe.
What it is. Yeah, no, the Whistle Pig's good. I like it. I'm into it. I'm excited to continue drinking it. And
Yes.
Reminds me of Jack.
does it?
It's close.
All right.
It's got that, like, you can really taste the mash.
Yeah.
Like the.
Oh, all right. Very good.
It's forward.
All right. So,
You know why we're here? Avengers Endgame.
Oh.
So if you,
Endgame review.
We should probably say, you guys did. By the way, I was invited to be on the
if you
Endgame
tuned in
episode
to our kind of theory discussion talk before what our anticipations were for Endgame.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were supposed to.
I was supposed to join you, and I bailed last second as I had my face just I have allergies.
The face is the moneymaker.
And it was,
man,
the
so you
moneymaker
gotta
was
make
not
sure it's-
okay that day, so I decided to
good.
bow out. But I asked if Taylor would make an exception and do like a follow-up episode, and he accommodated.
And we're
so
here.
I'm very excited to be here to talk about. We saw the movie together.
Oh, you did? Okay,
Yes.
awesome. I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
there.
so-
You guys saw it Friday or Saturday?
Friday. Yeah.
I was there. We were both like kind of trying to not pay attention to each other, like welling up a little bit at times. Like my
Hold
hood came
hands
up.
through the whole thing.
So qualities, right?
Indeed.
Spoiler
Tons.
alert.
So
Quite
we
a bit.
always do this. If you have not seen it, stop here at my hand, and then go watch it. Cry for 3 hours. Come back to my hand, and it'll pick up with all the good, juicy in-game talk.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
All right. So, quick synopsis of Endgame, assuming you kind of already know this, but essentially, Infinity War, we lost some major players.
Like
from
half the team.
Avengers, half the team,
Half the-
the world.
The snap.
Lost a lot of
It
people.
was about a 5 billion person count there.
Trillions through the
Maybe.
galaxies, though.
I personally
Yeah.
don't have those numbers, but I'll go with you on it.
a lot of
And so Endgame was essentially the effort to get all of them back. The Avengers have kind of responded and are mounting an offense to kind of,
yeah.
Can you imagine if they just let it go?
yeah.
They're just like, we blew it.
Or if you lost all the Avengers that like you didn't really care about, and you were just like,
You know what? It's the core group. We're
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
We're back.
We're
baby.
still
You like that guy,
here.
so whatever.
fan.
Too many anyway.
All right, so the meat of the episode. We're gonna skip fun facts, by the way. Normally we do
No
fun
need
facts.
for
We
it.
did that on the last
Yeah.
episode where we did
No fun here.
No fun here. This is a very serious dialogue, very
is,
serious
man.
conversation. We're just gonna get right into the meat of it.
Let's
so
go.
it's
Like it.
over.
I like it.
It's over.
It's over. That's kind of the overarching theme. Is
That it has? And
All
I
said and
text
done.
you. I said it was a great culmination of everything we've seen. I think it did incredible fan service.
Yes.
I'm very, very happy with this movie, and this is not just me as a comic book person. This was bravo, man.
I agree. I mean, if you've spent 10 years plus invested in these movies and this franchise as a whole, this felt like the perfect reward. You know what I mean? It's like there was all the fan service, and sometimes I feel like people get a little bit over being nodded to and winked at.
Yeah.
But in this case, I wanted more and more. Like every time I got one of those moments, I was sitting there
So
just
many
like
moments.
very
slow clapping all of them. So it was great.
It was like the Sincerely Marvel.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Knowing-
It's hard to imagine
Yeah.
that there's more coming. down the
I
pipeline.
don't know what to expect. They left it at a great point.
Yep.
Great point. I mean, we'll get there.
All right. Let's start with Thor.
Thor.
We'll get into that. So Thor survived. He lived.
Thor lived.
All right. He
Cheers
made
to
it.
Thor.
He made
Yeah.
it through.
Cheers.
I didn't
Thor.
I mean, I feel like I thought he was gonna make it through because they had the rumors.
We
of
said
Thor
that.
4, so
Yeah.
wasn't super surprised by that. But however, he did step down from the throne.
He walked away from being the king of Asgard, and he just kind of just hopped on the ship with the Asgardian. I mean, with the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
Yep.
and took
So I have-
off.
The Asgardians. Of the
Yeah,
Galaxy, as they-
Asgardians of the Galaxy. I don't
Dubbed
know.
it.
I have no clue what he's about to get into.
I think they would have been doing the franchise a disservice going forward had he been one of the characters to leave leave the storyline. I think after they found their stride with Ragnarok,
He had just
the
found his
tone,
voice.
Yeah.
exactly. They nailed it so well with that movie, and it was like to lose that character now that they've found the voice would have been super unfortunate. So I think I'm
Absolutely.
really glad that they've
Absolutely.
paired him back into the sort of the bigger picture space.
I want to see more from him.
kind of stuff.
He's hilarious.
Yeah.
as Thor. Like he is hilarious.
And
I
him
like-
and Star-Lord riffing.
Back and
it's
forth.
just more of that.
You are, of course.
More of that. There wasn't enough of that.
It was.
Wanted more of that.
I mean, it was a very serious movie.
I feel like that's what they're seeding.
I have high
that
hopes
whole-
that like Guardians 3, that
just
Thor is
so
in
much.
it.
Oh, he will be.
Oh, I
There's
hope
no
so.
doubt. He's going to
even
be
if
like
it's
the-
just him at the beginning, like, and then all right, guys, you enjoy your adventure. But I just want him.
what
there.
Banner was to Ragnarok, I think Thor will be to
He's-
Guardians
yes.
3. It's gonna,
Yes.
He's going to be the
Like, what if he just
complimentary-
joined the Guardians and then that was
That
like
would be
his,
not too.
Why
Why
not?
not, man?
Go.
Why not?
let him go? I mean,
Let them do it. They need a big gun.
I'm into it.
I don't see any Avengers stuff for a while, so let's
Yeah.
enjoy what we still have.
He's got to get the abs back.
I'm not like Fat Thor.
I enjoy
I like
watching
that
Thor.
Thor.
I have a theory about Thor. I think we kind of talked about it right after the movie, but I have this theory because you were saying like in one of the earlier movies he says like human beer doesn't affect him, and he's talking about how he can't get drunk and can't be affected by the weak alcohol that us mortals drink.
Right.
But then obviously in this movie he's
wasted.
throwing him back.
Yeah.
And he's, you're seeing the repercussions firsthand of his behavior, and I think it has more to do with his mindset. I think he's one of those. His power is all in his mentality, because it's like the same way that he's a conduit and didn't need
the hammer
to have his powers. I think like he just let himself go.
It was self-confidence.
He let himself go.
I thought it was a plot hole, because I remembered back and I was like, he's mentioned that he can't get drunk from beer.
Yeah.
My headcanon to fix it all for me was like, Thor
maybe
let himself
they brought
go.
a brewer from Asgard that's there.
They were there,
right?
in that little town.
He found his people. He found his favorite brewer and was
He's
like,
"Thank God you lived.
"Thank God you
Thank
didn't
Asgard you
decimate
lived.
in the
My
snack.
guy."
Let's get you going, buddy."
My gosh. All right, but so he's passed off the throne a little bit. So is he no longer Thor, or is he still
definitely
Thor?
still Thor.
Like,
Yeah.
what is his? I'm confused a little bit about where he got kind of left in the universe of things.
So
Like
he's still Thor. He'll always be Odin's son. Outside of the throne, I think, because he was Thor before he had the throne.
Yeah.
So he's just like, deuces, man. I gotta go do some other stuff.
But like Thor 4. Let's say it happens. Thor 4.
Thor 4.
Let's say it happens.
It's got a ring.
Is it with him, or is it with?
Oh, definitely. They can't lose that voice yet. But go ahead.
I gotta think that this Guardians thing is gonna set up more of that intergalactic.
Yeah.
Who's the guy that takes the mantle? Beta Ray Bill.
Oh yeah.
I want him so bad down the line, and I think I think that's probably coming.
I think I got time. We can off camera. We'll get into
got
Better
time.
Ray Bill
After the cut.
But Thor does eventually become a woman, though, no? In the comics? Like, doesn't that get transitioned over?
Remember Jane Foster?
Yes.
She becomes Thor. Thor he becomes unworthy and can no longer wield Mjolnir.
Sidebar real quick. She
Yes.
didn't make a reappearance in the film,
didn't. She was
which I
the
thought was
only
super
one.
interesting because they brought literally everyone back.
But even the shitty kid from Iron Man 3. He was there.
I
He was growing
Jane,
up there.
wait, there was the scene, there was the throwback scene, getting the Aether.
Oh, she was in it.
She was in
She
it.
was there.
She was in it.
She was in Asgard.
It's a lot of movie to digest.
Ooh,
like,
Oh,
you do forget.
Oh,
You do
good
forget.
call
Yeah, she was in
out.
there.
She was there.
A little bit, though.
Like
it was very small.
Small amount.
You would have missed.
Was
it.
she in the last? Again,
No, she wasn't
was
in
she
it.
in that last scene when they're all sort of standing?
No.
And it pans across.
We're talking about the funeral?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Wait, funeral? What? Oh, I walked out. I went to the bathroom. What happened?
Oh, we'll get there.
No.
There was a funeral.
Yeah.
All right, so we're thinking that Thor does come back. We're thinking Guardians 3 is his best chance. A Thor 4 could be in the works.
I hope
We've
so.
heard rumors of it happening.
I wouldn't
And we're
mind
thinking
Jane
that
Foster
it
as Thor.
is we're gonna continue with him
Yeah,
rather than what's her name? Why am I missing? I'm slipping her.
Natalie Portman.
No.
Valkyrie.
Yes.
Yes.
That one. So she is not gonna necessarily like Thor 4 comes out and it's not gonna be her story.
I doubt it. No, she has nothing to do with things.
So,
she's just
all right.
looking after the people. She's babysitting.
She'll be back.
She'll be.
She'll show
She'll
up
be
somewhere,
back.
but
She's not taking over the mantle. She's
No.
she's responsible for Asgard.
I can't imagine.
Which is
Unless they sort of
essentially-
blend the Jane Foster and her
Yeah.
stories together in the movies.
I mean,
which they
Asgard at
could
this
do.
point is like a small town, so it's not really.
They can literally do whatever they want.
Yeah,
right
exactly.
now. Everything is just open for. If you got a good script, throw it at us, and maybe we'll do it. Like
That's what I love about where they left it after
Yeah.
this movie. It just feels like they could go anywhere. and
Anything
people
can
would be
happen
like,
with
yes.
Thor.
A lot of possibilities.
he's definitely coming back.
Yeah.
My call. Yeah, 100%.
He's thriving though. He's
Yeah.
never looked strong.
He will be thriving.
All right, well, let's move on to Iron Man.
Do we have to?
We're gonna talk a little bit about that. I feel like this is gonna be a big piece of
this.
the show.
So the last
Iron
one.
Man, he's dead.
He's dead. He died.
He died.
He died in
So,
a very glorious way.
a little moment of silence, and let's cheers.
Yeah, man.
Here's the Thor.
Tony,
Tony the boy.
man.
Oh, so heavy.
So, his kind of sunsetting from the universe, I was surprised by it. I thought they were going to keep him around.
I did too. I
really
called
did.
it. I said Iron Man lives, Cap dies.
So,
Yeah.
how do we
Fair.
feel about the way that he left the universe?
If you haven't seen it, let's call it out. So Tony is the one to end Thanos. He gets the kill shot. Big Al was here last week. He said he wanted to know who gets the kill shot. In a final showdown between Thanos and Iron Man, Tony does like a snatch and grab
Yep.
of all the stones and creates a nanotech glove and does the snap.
like absorbs the stone.
Yeah,
They're
to put some into
grabbing onto the glove.
and he does the snap, and it basically just burned. Just
you saw what it did to Hulk.
You're right.
20 minutes earlier.
Yeah.
It
So
wrecked
he,
the Hulk, and
he
then
just couldn't handle it as a mortal. So, and he passes away, and I feel like that was the perfect send off.
yeah.
I didn't want him to go, but
With the line,
I am Iron Man.
I am Iron Man.
The line that
So
started.
good.
The line that started.
So good.
Is, I am Iron Man.
and that's the fan service I'm talking about. All of
those
those beats
things.
where it's like, you know, they wrote it down and they were like, is this too cheesy? Is this too on the nose? And everybody was like, nah, just do it. Just let it happen.
If he's going, it works.
It was perfect.
I feel like they really came after me though, when like with the daughter and like he was finally happy with
Yeah.
Pepper like out in the woods like doing their thing.
He's chilling, but
I was like, this is it. This is where you
he
wanted
still wouldn't
for
rest.
me.
But even then, he wasn't chilling because he was building suits for the family. And
Right,
like,
for
you
the
know what I mean?
family.
He's like,
he couldn't stop.
Sure,
That's
but that's
his-
kind of like
that's the character's thing. He
secretly
can't
that's,
ever
that's
stop.
where I wanted.
This
him
was
to
the
go.
only way
He
he
wanted
would
him to
stop.
just stay in the woods.
I wanted him to. He finally found some peace, which is weird that the snap brought that to him because he was like out in the woods, just like living his life. I know he came back; he had to rally, but
Right.
at the same time, he like kind of had.
I think he deserved the hero send off. I think he did that arc completing.
Yeah.
To me,
He
it was
started
perfect.
the Infinity Saga, and he ended the
it.
Infinity Saga,
Yeah.
which like I feel like I missed that though. I don't know why. Like when we did the first episode, I didn't
Yeah.
think about that.
Yeah, I didn't either. Yeah.
I never like that.
He
Never
started-
clicked for me. He was like the
He's-
first.
Well, we did mention it.
chapter.
He was the pillar.
Yeah.
So
Final
killing
chapter.
him had to have been
Yeah,
the most
inevitable.
obvious.
Yeah.
thing, I feel
What
like.
else are you gonna do with him? You know, it's like
I think he's.
I think if he stayed around, unfortunately, it would have like the entire Phase 4 would be
Still
all about Tony.
Yeah.
And it's just I think they need to
It
move
was
forward
time.
now.
It was
So-
time.
I wanted to see him pass off the
mantle of.
the mantle a little bit. Like maybe he got like injured in a way.
I think that's still coming though. I think
it's cool because it leaves it at a point where who is gonna do it?
I mean, they set up Rescue
Right.
with this suit.
Yeah.
for Panther. They
Such a good.
His daughter clearly showed an interest in putting the helmet on.
that's
as
my
well.
next question.
I predicted.
Is Iron Man in fact dead? Like we're getting a little out there, but
We're going into
Fan
lore
theory.
now.
I like fan
Okay.
theory.
we know
Yeah, I
that
love it.
like AI is
We saw it at the
a
end.
pretty relevant technology.
Jarvis was the beginning of all of it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's come up in a couple of different capacities throughout the show. Even
Absolutely.
Hydra has had its moments with AI. So
Absolutely.
does
Cap too.
Iron Man does he live on in the form of a suit? Because like I mean, he doesn't have to be in a suit. He could just, if he's AI, he could just occupy a suit and still be
Good.
technically Iron Man.
I'm
Or is
going
he
to,
replacing Jarvis?
Let's drop the
Or-
bomb. So in post Civil War II, if you haven't read it, Captain Marvel and Iron Man come at odds, and it's basically a whole reenactment of Civil War One. Tony died. Well, he doesn't die. He's incapacitated and put into a vegetative state, and apparently he eventually just passes. No, he's in a coma. So while he's in the coma, his AI of his consciousness is running around, just talking to Avengers.
And this is the thing,
and
there's-
it's a drunk AI.
I love that.
It was
I
great.
love that.
He was-
There's so many.
Fantastic.
There's so
Right.
many little things throughout
That they paid
the
for
series
themselves,
where
man.
you know. I mean, Jarvis. Then there's
yeah,
a line,
Jarvis was in it?
There's a line when they create when Ultron and Vision split, and they talk about Banner. Banner says it, I think, but he's talking about how Vision is
All of the
part
best
Tony,
part of us,
part
yeah.
Banner, part and it's like. Tony has loaded his consciousness into
He's had to. He's figured
all
it
of
out.
these different things
This guy
in certain
figured out
ways.
time travel. So of
And
course
there's just
he's
these
figured
little
out-
hints of like him, he's making videos for his family post-mortem to watch at his funeral and things
He's
like
done
that.
something.
And it's
He set himself up for the future.
knowing
Of course.
is
Yeah.
how he progresses with his suits every movie, I feel like even
And
in
time
death,
travel. With,
even in death, Tony will have thought of a way to come back in some form.
no characters ever.
And out of canon, out of the movie thing, it's like it allows him to then be a little more. I can just do some facial capturing. I don't have to be committed
Yeah,
to 10
yeah.
movies. Like, so
I don't know if they want to pay him, man. He's making upwards of 85 mil.
Yeah.
Each
But
film.
he's such a driving force in the universe.
I
in the
think he
universe.
will-
Like so many people love.
I love
him.
Expect cameos. That's
So like
what I think.
Like my mother, for example, is she's not like a huge Marvel fan, but she loves Iron Man. She loves Robert Downey. Like she's
what's
not the love about this
she
guy,
has
man?
watched a lot of these movies just because she enjoys him. So it's like
dope.
it's kind of like it's a bummer to think that he would maybe be gone altogether because I guess,
can't imagine.
kind of a driving force.
There will be something.
He'll sprinkles here and there of references, maybe a flashback.
Yeah.
I don't think they bring him back as Iron Man though. Like just going forward, maybe 10 years.
So
from
what's
now,
next
we'll
for
get a
Iron
recast.
Man? Because here's my thing: like Peter Parker still needs suits. He still needs to Iron Man has become this person at least in the Infinity Saga. He was such a pivotal piece for everybody. Not only just getting together and making things happen, but he provided the tech for.
That's where I was going.
Jumping through time. He built the suits. I mean,
He
Peter
basically
Parker
was the
is basically
financier for the Avengers.
everything.
Yeah.
I mean,
This is where it gets exciting.
It gets great, right? Because now
who's taking over?
It's not just taking over the mantle of Iron Man. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah,
It's
go.
not just taking over the suit. It's taking over the man who was the brains
who's
behind the
gonna
operation
boss up
and the
and
money behind the
take
operation.
these guys in. So apparently Nick Fury finds Spider-Man in the trailers from Far From Home.
Yeah.
Right.
Which leads me to believe that every person that's left in this new framed of MCU is going to have to pick up one aspect of what Tony provided, right?
Yeah.
The tech, the money,
Yeah.
the someone to bring together everyone.
Sure.
So we're gonna see a lot of balls being passed between everyone that's left to kind of pick up what Tony has left, and I feel like that's going to be a driving point in whatever Avengers stuff comes forward, because it's going to be like, we got to do this the way Tony did it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
His legacy. What would you want? What would Tony do?
What would Tony do?
WWTD.
Where does Pepper fit into all of it? Because obviously she's hip to it now.
Can I give you an Easter
she's
egg real quick?
she's pretty invested.
Easter egg, Far From Home trailer. If you've seen it, Spider-Man is like talking at like a fundraiser.
Yeah.
And when Happy walks in with the check, it's signed by Pepper Potts. And
There you
not
go.
Tony.
All right, but she is
Stark Industries.
She's in there. There's Stark Industries.
But she
still
is
around.
CEO of Stark Industries.
Yeah,
she was
right.
that as
She'll be back. I
Iron
think she'll
Man
be back,
2. She was
definitely.
made CEO. So,
They need her now.
but she also said that this was her last. This is where I got hung up because she
She
came out and
did
was
say
pretty
that.
publicly outspoken about that this was her last film. So was she doing that just to throw people
She's the
off?
only tie we got to Stark Industries right now, outside Happy.
I feel like that's
You know
just
what I mean?
something the actors say. To be honest, I mean, if you look back, there's plenty of like, oh no, I don't know, I'm not.
This is my last Bad Guys in Bourbon, guys. Everyone's gonna tune into the
No, this is it.
This is it.
What?
Yeah.
Spoilers. Damn, dude, you gotta shout it out first.
All right, so Pepper's gonna be back. Iron Man's passing it off. We don't know necessarily to who yet. We're thinking a multitude of people. Like I think Peter Parker's kind of a shoe-in for maybe some of the tech aspects. He's still a little.
He's still
young.
smart.
So-
But he's a
You
little
got
kid.
Banner though.
You got Banner?
The Iron Man. Like there's some legality there. It's kind of weird.
I don't think we'll
We're
get to,
hoping that we're
There's
hoping
some more.
more.
There's a little bit more. To
We're
this,
gonna get
too.
into Banner.
Yeah, we're gonna
I guess we're hoping that like for the foreseeable future, maybe just Tony comes back as AI.
I mean, well, we got
In Homecoming, there has to be something.
T'Challa and his sister.
Yep.
Who, their tech surpasses what Tony has.
Sure,
They just-
exactly. I
they're
mean,
just-
Wakanda's been
they're
until
selfish.
this
They're
point
keeping it to
hidden
themselves, right?
and fully beyond
and then-
anything.
That's a good call out. I like that. So
and we
maybe
got
she could get involved.
Captain Marvel, who's gonna kind of, they have to kind of let her kind of step up,
Yeah.
I just don't see her.
and she's
replacing
U.S.
Iron
based,
Man.
kind of.
I mean,
Yeah. Who's left? Who we got? Doctor Strange.
None of. They're not going to replace Iron Man.
He's more like a guidance counselor.
right.
Yeah, he's
right.
just kind of.
I'm very.
On the
I'm
outskirts, the
very
periphery.
interested.
Not a
to
teacher,
see-
but a guidance counselor.
very
Although there is
interested to see
another
what they
movie
do with
coming.
it.
Yeah.
There is a Doctor Strange 2.
Two,
So
apparently.
As there should be. I thought
Yeah.
one was good. I like his character. He's a fun kind of quirk, I think, to the Marvel universe right now.
Yeah, I think
enjoy
he's needed. I mean, he's an integral part in a lot of these story arcs.
He kind of got shunned in Endgame.
a little
I
bit
thought.
peripheral.
Yeah.
for
Kind
sure.
of just held back water.
And I think that was purposely,
Yeah.
done.
Exactly.
We'll get- all of those guys will be back. There will be another Avengers movie.
Yes.
I think it'll be called, what's it called?
New
Avengers. New
Avengers,
Avengers. Or Captain Marvel leads a team called the Ultimates at some point with Black Panther.
Would love that.
That fan.
Yes.
Big fan of
Yes.
the Ultimates. But then and there's still kind of Monica Rambeau from Captain Marvel, who eventually she has to have grown up by now.
Yeah.
So she's there, and she becomes kind of like kind of like a War Machine to Tony type of hero to Captain Marvel.
It's all out there.
It's all out there.
It's all available.
It's all out there.
A lot of options.
Yeah, man. They
A lot
can
of
literally
possibilities.
do
The
it.
IP is just littered with good stuff to draw from.
All right, so no really strong conclusion on what's going to happen with Tony and his next iteration. Not yet, anyway.
I'm calling it. I'm saying it right now, definitively. You will see him again in a not flashback, but sort of an AI.
I think
appearance.
that's true too.
Yeah.
I'm with that.
I
I
think
just
he will
don't
be-
know who takes over.
It's because it's sort of the parallel to like the Force Ghost. You know what I mean? He's gonna come. He's gonna
good
be like,
call out. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Peter's gonna get himself in some issues, and I just feel like we're gonna see a Tony.
He's gonna do something dumb on his suit, and then Tony will appear.
A little message.
What are you doing,
dude? You know better.
That'll be great. That'll be
Exactly.
great.
It's coming.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Captain America. He's essentially dead.
You want to wear
but
the shield? Put
Not
the shield
dead.
on.
Right here, Cap's
You brought the
original shield.
vintage shield.
Put it on. Hold it.
The OG shield.
It does have straps on the back.
Yeah.
It's a finger shield.
Finger shield.
Like, is there like a?
That's
like
the
a
shield
little-
you wear when you're doing
Is there,
when you're
is
doing
there
a
a
Tony
doll
and,
that comes
Call
with
out
this?
Nebula and Iron Man.
Nebula and Iron Man playing.
Is there a doll that comes with it? 'Cause
No,
there
man.
are, like,
So
little
I was
buttons on
part of Loot Crate. Shout out to Loot Crate.
Hey,
And it was a membership. My lady had got me Loot Crate for Christmas. And so
Nice.
I was receiving.
always a good gift.
Loot Crate's awesome. And that was one of the gifts. Actually, that was the first gift I got from Loot Crate. It's
the
awesome.
1940s shield.
Captain America's first shield. That was
All
probably made out of plastic before he got the vibranium shield.
Yeah.
It was just wood.
It was a wood
It
shield.
was
Why do I have this?
just for theater.
It's like playing
So-
Zelda in the early phase of the game. It just breaks
Yeah.
all the time.
I mean, as far as the universe is concerned, moving forward, he's essentially dead. He's gone. I mean, he's alive. He could
Yeah.
provide maybe some insight.
And
but he's not coming
fan
back.
service.
He's not
man.
coming back.
So much fan service because about a year ago, this is where Steve Rogers was. Falcon was Captain America.
Took up the mantle.
He took up the mantle, and Steve was old. The serum just kind of left him, and he was just kind of like a console to the Avengers. Couldn't
Right.
really do anything.
So he's gonna continue that. You're thinking like that's
Oh,
gonna
man.
carry on. You think he's gonna pop back up like whoever? I mean,
Time travel, bro. He's never done. If he wasn't killed in Endgame, we got time travel. We'll always get him
Exactly.
back.
I think it gives him a legitimate
Yeah.
reason to be removed from the franchise for a little bit, conveniently.
If they ever get in dire straits,
But he could pop back in if he
Absolutely.
wanted to. And
Well,
we're-
also,
and we're gonna
there's
go.
this, and we haven't even really touched on it too much yet, but like the time travel aspect to this whole movie. Obviously, at the end, he's the one tasked with the job of going back in time and putting the stones all back in place. And
he ruined it.
we
There's
don't.
so much.
Was I not
said
supposed to
for
say?
that.
No, I said
not
he
supposed-
ruined it.
Oh yeah, exactly. And so it's like. You don't see what he does. You don't see that journey. You don't see that
There's a
adventure. You
whole
don't see any
story,
of that,
and that's
yeah.
what's great about this movie.
It left a lot
because
of-
it tells all of the stories that you may kind of missed in the past.
Yeah. All
Right?
you know is
Like-
that he in some way lived out his life and got that dance and
Bruce says it. He's like as much time as he needs. So we don't really know how much time passed while they were
Exactly.
like standing there waiting around for him to come back. It could have been all day. You know.
So we feel pretty good about how he got outroed. I mean, I thought it was great. That was what I was hoping
Yeah.
for. Like the one thing I was really hoping for in Endgame is that he would go back in time and
And stay.
live out the
I
life
said
that he
that.
kind of
Yeah,
always
yeah.
wanted to.
I
So
think,
I'm very. I mean, personally, I'm happy with how it went down. Although I would have loved for him to just never come back. I was bummed. I was a little bummed that like they were like, "Who's this guy on the bench?" I kind of
I
wanted.
thought it was young him. at
I
first.
wanted everybody
Oh,
to just
yeah.
be like,
Just a
"Where
baby?
did he go?"
Yeah, I thought he was like
Baby
a kid
Cap?
because of the Ant-Man
Right.
travel. I thought he was like a little kid.
Yeah, I would have been. That's the only thing that would have made me a little bit happier.
then you get a baby Groot, baby Cap buddy movie.
Had he
Come
not-
on, guys! How did you not think of
How
that?
did you miss that? Oh man. Let's talk about Cap for a second, right? Since he arrived back in what was that? End of Iron Man, the end of Captain America 1, he's never really adjusted to living life in the future.
Right.
He's
always been
always
chasing.
felt awkward. A lot of jokes to him knowing what pop culture references are. What was it? He was writing when he first met Sam.
I gotta check that out.
Yeah.
It's like a list of all the he's like the
Yeah.
70s disco. It's so good.
So I think he was never really comfortable being here. We see a lot of him doing. He still wants to be like outside of having war. He still wants to be the good civilian.
Yep.
And be accessible and still rescue cats out of trees. Like he wants to be that guy. And I don't think he ever really found a footing in today's society.
Yeah.
Right.
And he was still in love. I mean, he made out with her niece, but he was still in love.
As you do. As you do.
Yeah, I
mean,
Work with what you got.
Given the chance.
Yeah.
You make out with your
Do what you gotta do.
yeah, of course.
Generations.
Generations. So I think it was inevitable for him going back and living out that life because you've saved. You deserve a ride into the sunset. You know what I mean?
I agree with that. I feel like his thing, and more so than that, there I can't remember exactly which movie it was, but there's this whole bit about how he's always going to be a soldier.
Yeah.
And I think it may be him and Tony talking or something like that, and he like can't let that go. He's not comfortable letting that go.
Yeah.
He doesn't know who he is when he lets that go.
Right.
And I think that's his moment where he won the biggest war that
Ever.
you could win.
Yeah, I
And
saved the universe.
I think he was finally like, okay, maybe I deserve
That last dance.
one thing. Yeah. I thought it was a very nice poetic
Awesome
send-off.
call out.
It's a good poetic send-off.
All right. So they alluded to a few things. Yeah, in the end there that
Yes, they did.
Captain America was basically passing the mantle.
It's a mantle. Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought it was interesting that we had two people involved in that.
Who have been Captain
Transition.
America. Yeah. Great.
So you're kind of the comic expert here. Decipher that for me. I felt as if, like, I thought in that moment, like, I thought it was gonna pass over to Bucky. Like, I thought there was gonna be like
So
a
tastefully
like a.
Yeah. They
so-
alluded to it.
I'm not
tastefully
ready.
done,
I'm not
yeah.
ready for this, but I know who is, and like I thought that was coming, or
Right.
some kind of thing like that.
Well,
like I'm not.
if you dig deep into it, it's like maybe Buck is mentally not ready to do that.
Exactly.
He just got himself together.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I'm with
Right,
you.
that's
I was
his heart.
saying in the last episode that he's
Right.
kind of been like the outlier, and he's kind
Yeah.
of too like depressed right now. Like he's very,
Yeah,
he's
he
kind of,
just figured
he's
his
still
shit out.
scary. Like
Yeah.
He's just waiting for someone to
He
come
is
up and be
still-
like,
he is
November.
still scared.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
Like he could snap back at any moment
Mission
if someone.
report,
Yeah, exactly.
1921, he just
yeah,
loses his shit.
exactly.
He's off the tail
like
like that.
looming off in the background in black leather. You know,
Like he's still not safe in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, but however, in the comic books, he eventually becomes Captain America, and he's brutal.
He's the first one to take the mantle.
He's the first
after
one,
Steve.
right? And he's like murdering people, and they're like, "That's not what Captain America is."
This is a different Captain America.
Right. So Tony then comes.
Captain America 2.
The
Steve,
squeakle.
Steve comes back, and he's like, "I gotta take this back, dude." But in fan service, man, this is when he was the Nomad.
Yeah.
When he was running around like how he was in character in Infinity War, man. They just really touched on every point.
Yeah.
But recently, Sam Falcon was Captain America, and he was leading the last Avengers run. I believe it was Jason Aaron's run.
Nice.
Of Avengers, and it was a obscure, different Avengers team. Cap was he was old,
Right.
right? So
Are we
So
getting
they've basically taken
everything.
pieces of these comics as they do in the
But are we
movies.
getting a Falcon show?
Yeah, it's Falcon.
It's both of
and
them.
It's both of them.
And so I think they set that up perfectly as well because he comes back with a fixed shield, hands it to Falcon, who I think in the context of the movies and the run, the universe that they've built in the movie context, it should have been Falcon. He's earned it.
He's always
He's
been
been
there.
Steve's
Yeah.
guy. I think to your point, I don't even know if Steve knows that he can trust Bucky yet.
Bucky, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, look,
It's a dicey call.
he's on a good path again,
You
but
say the wrong words to Buck, and
yeah.
this house is level.
It's not good. So I think giving the shield to Falcon was
But
the
again,
move.
with the fan service, as he's giving it to Sam, Sam is like, I know this is your friend. He looks to Buck, and Buck
Yes.
just gives him the nod.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got it.
It was so good.
It was great because
was so good.
for us, for people who know the history. It's like, damn, he knew to
They skipped 20 years of comics
right in that one
like-
shot. I was
Yep.
like, oh, this is great.
Yep.
All right, so we're feeling good about it.
Feeling good about
We
it.
love the Captain America send-off. We love the transition of the Shield over to Falcon.
However,
Good.
Falcon was the worst Captain America in the comic books to me.
Really?
Yes.
Oh no.
He was good.
But that's something they could also still explore
He was
in the
just
show.
not a good
Because
Captain
there could
America.
be a bit of a.
And
you
I
know.
think that's written on purpose because
Right.
the only Captain America that's been the perfect Captain America is Steve.
Yeah.
Like Buck was killing people. Falcon was just wasn't Steve.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, he just kind of always fell short.
Yeah.
And he says it in Civil War. I do what he do, but I just do it slow.
I love it.
Oof.
Yeah.
All right. That brings us to another character in the show. Not the show, rather, but the movie. The universe.
I have things to say.
I got tons of things. You got your
Things to say.
green Hulk hair today.
I know. This is
A lot of curiosity around this character, and it's the Hulk. It's the Hulk. I'm interested in this. So Hulk was back, kind of in a new form, though, right? One that we've not seen him in. Kind of a combo of Hulk and Banner.
Professor Hulk.
Professor Hulk. You alluded to this in the previous episode. And how do we feel about Professor Banner?
I had a.
You didn't like it. Okay, I'm feeling better about myself because
Didn't like
I didn't like it.
Yeah.
like
It felt more like it was.
It was Shrekish.
It was kind of the fan service. That was probably the jankiest fan service moment. I had a feeling that they were going to get to Professor Hulk and have him kind of come to terms with both, because that's been his development the entire time. However, I thought the way they went about it, jumping 5 years into the future post-snap, and suddenly he's just in that role.
He had a plate.
And he's a
of burritos
celebrity,
at the time.
and like it was used for laughs. That moment, I will say, felt really jarring to me, and it kind of took me out of it for a second, and it really made me like have to wrap my head around. Okay, we've missed some things. He doesn't have anger issues anymore. He's cool with the Hulk after where it left off in Infinity War. It was just like okay, but I knew they were going to go there. I think everybody.
Yeah, I knew
kinda
that
felt
was
like they were
coming.
gonna go there, yeah.
And I wouldn't be this upset about it if he got his just due.
Right.
I wanted the rematch. I was robbed of the rematch.
Yep.
Of Hulk and Thanos.
Well, I saw it coming.
That's what I wanted.
The second he hears the news about Scarlet Witch, I thought,
It was coming.
okay, this is where he loses it.
get the kill shot.
Because I think
Yeah.
like the whole thing with that is
Yeah.
that like, I think Hulk loves her and Banner loves her, and so there's like I thought that was going to be the thing that like
Instead, he just throws a bench into the lake.
I thought Hulk was going to be like, all right, Banner, backseat for a second,
he was-
let's go.
I had high hopes in the beginning. I was like, okay, I like the fact that he finally has found the combination of the two.
Yeah.
He's kind of balanced it. I think that's great. I thought he was going to have more control over the rage
Rage
aspect.
part.
Like I thought he could dial it up if he wanted to.
He's always angry.
Because like even when they were like
That's
when they
where it
flashed
comes from.
not
You said
flashback
it.
but when they went back in time to New York City when they were kind of like doing all they
Mm-hmm.
were doing, like the Hulk at that time was significantly larger
Yeah.
and was like really
because
doing stuff.
he grows and it's
He was so low
what's
key.
great about the gamma radiation poisoning that made him the Hulk is that it's really like scientific based, right? The angrier you get, you release an endorphin that mixes with the serum that
Right.
makes him crazy,
Proportional
right
to his anger.
You know what I mean? And he just
It
turns
seems
into
like, to be fair though, it seems as if Scarlet dies, Johansson.
he loses the rage.
Feels like he would get a little ragey. More
what I
so
wanted.
than he's been. Like he's been like the whole thing. He's been like, yeah, let's take
I wanted
selfies, let's
Groundbreaker
hang
Hulk.
out. Like
Yeah.
That's what I
I'm gonna
wanted,
try to
man.
send you back.
There were
Let's
two
see how
moments
it
in the
happens.
movie. There were two moments in the movie for me where I thought Hulk was going to get his minute to shine. It was the first one came when he's speaking to the
Ancient one.
ancient one, and she punches Bruce
Out, and
into
I
his
thought-
astral form. And I thought,
Hulk
okay,
was gonna
Bruce is
lose
astral.
it.
Hulk's still in there. I thought we were maybe going to see like a Grey Hulk moment, and that was going to be another nod, and he was just going to freak out on New York for a second.
That's
and
what
that
I
was
thought
going
we
to
were
take it
gonna
all
get
off
the
the rails.
Groundbreaker Hulk. I thought he was just gonna lose his shit and start leveling the city.
Right.
Didn't.
And then from there, we didn't get that one. From there, I was just waiting in that moment. He knew Black Widow died. I was just waiting for him to kind of uncork, let the big guy out for once, and sort of you would see Bruce disappear for a second.
We got a low key Hulk for the duration of Endgame.
We've got a low-key Hulk for
so
two
chill,
movies, man.
so chill about his love dying.
He was a little sassy in the beginning of Infinity War. He had his moment with Thanos.
Chill Hulk was not cool.
He was thrown down. There was a little bit of a battle, but
That was it.
very short lived.
They Shrek'd him. You said it
And
perfectly.
he
He was
never
comic
came back.
relief.
He's gonna sell so many toys.
Yeah, he was comic relief rather than
Yeah, and and I don't know. I just feel like ever since he was Mark Ruffalo is an awesome Bruce Banner.
Yep.
And we have this conversation on who makes a great Batman, who makes a great Bruce Wayne. I think Mark Ruffalo makes a great Hulk.
Yes.
Like Mark Ruffalo makes a great Bruce Banner.
I agree.
However, they nerfed his Hulk so much, and I feel like Ed Norton was kind of as Bruce Banner, but his Hulk, the Hulk they gave him,
The way they portrayed it was
monstrous and incredible. So maybe the next time we see the Hulk, it will be.
Which brings me to my last point, which is where are we going to see? Where are we going to see him next?
I think this
Never
is
again.
done.
You
I
think it's
kind of
done?
agree. I think maybe in a cameo role,
portion.
but yeah, and mostly like just typing, working
They're gonna visit.
working on time machines.
They're gonna visit Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, I don't
and
know.
Maybe he'll be the Hulk.
I feel like he could pop up in Guardians. I feel like there's still some tie-ins there. I think Thor kind of stole his spot in the Guardians universe, and there's only one more of those, at least for the foreseeable future. So who knows?
He may or may not, but
That could have been his outro in a weird way. Which how do we feel? I mean,
Looking at it objectively from the like bird's eye view of the movies, I can see where that was sort of the completion of his story arc. His Banner story has always been either getting the Hulk out of him, and then it became making peace with the Rage.
Yeah.
And so if you look at it that way, I guess there was a nice send-off in the fact that Bruce and Hulk finally saw eye to eye, embraced both sides, and that's where they left
meet
it.
in the middle.
So
that's
it's
it. You know what pissed me off though?
Say it.
I would love to know.
Say it.
That's what I'm here for.
Like, and this is my thing. They nerfed him when he. Spoiler. If you're still here,
spoilers, you
like
guys.
if you're still here, I don't know what
Stop
you're
watching.
doing.
You're here for the spoilers at this point.
He eventually puts on a gauntlet and does the snap, and it fries him.
Yeah.
But he's supposed to have a regenerative factor that is neck and neck with like Wolverine.
Yeah.
Like you're not even supposed to be able to break the Hulk's skin.
Right.
And I understand that these are a cosmic weapon that he's wielding right now. But he's in a brace.
Right.
A air cast at the end of the movie.
If I can be honest, I kind of liked the fact that Hulk sort of took the same ish damage that Thanos did.
yeah.
I thought that was a cool parallel to say like, okay, yeah, Hulk's durable.
Yeah.
I kind of would have liked to see Tony come out of that, and probably they can't do it because it's at the end of the day a family movie. I would have liked to see Tony snap and have like literally no arm. Like I thought
Because he can fix it.
It could have been.
It did feel like weird. Like it did feel weird that Tony wouldn't have some backup plan. Like he's kind of the guy.
He's always had a backup plan.
And the fact
we'll
that
see it.
The fact that like, and I think we will see it.
Force Ghost.
That he just like died. I don't know.
Force Ghost, nanotech.
I'm sorry to go back to Iron Man.
It's okay.
However,
You're allowed.
Please don't. Please don't go back.
we've had so many subtle moments that shows because all right, his persona kind of overshadows those small moments that we get with him that shows how intelligent he is.
Yeah.
Right? Like when he shows up to the Avengers compound, he's like, we made him a baby, right? Because he already knows.
He ran that.
He knows
he ran that simulation.
He knows how to time travel.
Yeah.
For God's sakes, he can talk to his house. And you know what I mean? So, like, we forget how intelligent he is because he's an asshole. He's Tony Stark, right? So you mean to tell me the guy, because putting your consciousness in a computer was shown in Cap 2.
Yep.
We
know it can happen.
And it was a long time ago, too. This was like
in the
40s, 50s they were doing it?
Right.
It was analog. It was on tape. There's so much tape.
Tony can't do it now?
He might have cloned himself.
Yeah.
In a freezer somewhere by this point.
There's like 15 Tonys. I wouldn't be surprised
you
if
thought
he
there was
just
an Iron Legion? There's a Tony Legion.
He just
as well.
walks out like regular.
And we've created Vision, which means you can create a person out of
synthetics.
Not to sidebar this and derail this, but what happened to Vision?
What the hell, you guys?
He's
Where
done.
did he go? Is he dead? Is he gone?
Disney Plus announced the WandaVision show.
Thank you. That's what I thought.
So I have no clue what happens. I mean,
Why didn't he come back?
I thought he was I thought
They got no answers.
none.
Because in the snap, he should have.
No,
Well, no, because
he wasn't involved in the
Thanos
snap.
takes the stone out, leaves
And he
him,
just kind of deprograms him.
leaves him gray, which is actually a comic sequence where
he comes
he
back white.
he comes back as gray
robot.
Vision, and he's kind of not
has no
that cool
personality.
anymore.
Yeah.
But
TBD and Vision. Then.
Read premium stuff.
Yes,
All right.
absolutely. I'm in. I don't know if you guys know. I'm like stoked right now. I'm actually holding a lot back.
This is awesome.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is awesome.
I don't want to get too lost in the Hulk. We're gonna move on. I think generally feel a little disappointed by how
Yes.
they handled
Very
Hulk
disappointed
in
about the
Endgame, but that's
I'm gonna
it
write
is
the
what
Russos
it
a letter.
is. There's plenty of time.
I will say, actually, that brings up a good point. I think this is a very passive and completely my opinion. I think the Russos have done an amazing job with the franchise.
Mm-hmm.
I think what happened when the Russos took over was they love the Cap Iron Man dynamic.
Oh yeah.
And I think
Because
everyone
you can tell so many stories there.
Yes,
Yeah.
and everyone else, the way they gel, and this, kind of Tony and Cap coming back together in this movie was a massive part of the movie. That's the first time we've seen them kind of go,
Lost the kid.
you know what? We got to put this stuff aside.
Yeah.
So,
Tony lays into Cap's
exactly. I
ass
love that scene.
in the first.
I love that
15 minutes,
scene,
man.
And
very good.
I think what we know is the
Very
Russos love those characters, and that's
Yeah.
what they played up in this movie as well, and in Infinity War. I think had we seen more of a Joss Whedon approach to this Avengers sequence, it would have
Yeah.
been about the peripheral characters because he
Yeah.
loves the peripheral. I think we would have seen more Thor. We would have seen more
Yeah.
Hulk. We
More
would have
Black
seen.
Widow.
He loved
Yeah.
Banner and Black Widow and that dynamic. So I like, and not that there's a right way or a wrong way to do it. I just think the Russos were all about also completing that legacy of Tony
Yeah.
Cap.
Very smart.
So I
Very
think a few
smart.
of the other characters, unfortunately, took a back seat
That's a
in a
really
way.
good call out. I've never thought about it like that before, but that's true.
That's their passion, and
Yeah.
it's seeded because they were the ones that did
They started.
Winter Soldier, Civil
Civil
War.
War.
That was their in.
That was kind of their thread.
When
that
I
they were
saw
pulling.
Winter Soldier, I was like, "This is a very special movie."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't think it would ever lead us here, but I was like,
Yeah.
It's still one of my favorites. Top 5.
One of my
easily.
top 5.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is really different. I was scared of how different it was. I was
Right.
like, wait a minute, like this is too good.
Yeah.
Like I was on the MCU ride,
Right.
and then it just takes a crazy left, and it's like, all right, now we're going somewhere, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh wow,
It found its legs,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
We bypassed. We're gonna transition here in a
Okay.
second. We bypassed the Thor piece with the dog. We're gonna bring her in real quick.
I like that.
Before we transition over to Black Widow, I looked over and I saw her and I was like, she's probably
She's been napping.
She
the whole
probably
time.
wishes she didn't have this on anymore. All right.
I'm gonna timestamp this to make sure that we bring and people can see me.
You guys getting that? You guys
This is Winnie. This is
Thor.
This is my dog.
Hi,
Is it
sweet
on?
baby.
Can you see where?
Hello.
She's wearing her shirt. I'll hold her for
Thor
this
shirt.
camera.
Mighty Thor. There we
Thor
go.
shirt.
The mighty Thor.
This is Winnie. We've met her.
Yeah, Winnie had a lot of screen time on Haunting of Hill House.
Yes, she did. She's
back.
She's had some screen time. This is her in her Thor T-shirt.
She is a good girl.
Because this is
She's been wearing this for a while,
waiting for her shine.
and we've really been.
And we
kind of-
neglected. We forgot. Yeah.
We forgot. So
So many key points to hit. We forgot the most important one.
Indeed. So just so she can take her shirt off finally. When he said hello. She's very out of breath.
She's very warm.
Just so she can take it off. now.
It's a warm shirt.
So she's had her
It's so
Thor
cool.
shirt. We're transitioning over. Black Widow. Black Widow's dead. She died.
And she's not coming back.
I would throw this in. I would throw this in the surprise category for me because I wasn't really expecting it.
No,
I
definitely wasn't expecting
I
that.
really wouldn't have put her on the chopping block.
I agree. Especially with the show coming.
Indeed.
Well,
feels weird.
she's
Or
got
a
the
movie.
movie.
She has a
Or the
film.
movie. Yeah, I'm
She's
sorry.
got a
It's definitely gonna be a
full-on
prequel
film.
now.
Right, yeah. I gotta think it's about her
So,
origin.
which is kind of where we go from here. Like,
Or-
are we on board with the death?
And not to jump ahead,
Yeah,
but
jump
it
ahead.
could also be about that 5 years post snap, where she's sort of running the show and talking to people on the phone, talking to the
that
referee
would
on the
be
phone.
nice.
I could see it.
What
Maybe
she's
seems
been
like
dealing
such a,
with?
But she seems
Yeah.
like such a bummer during that time.
She was really sad.
Like she's eating peanut butter sandwiches. She's kind of sad.
That's a bit in and of itself.
Tony's funny.
Every episode ends with the
Yeah.
peanut butter sandwich.
It's like
directly into the camera, like
You're living
another
off of
Black Widow
Tony's
legacy.
dime in the Avengers facility.
Yeah.
You
How
gotta
bad could
have
it be?
something better than peanut butter sandwich.
it's like SVU with her.
yeah.
She's just out there, solving the dark
also
crimes.
think that point in the story kind of shows her authority over the other characters.
She
in
was
the
much more
MCU.
respected
Right.
than
Right.
I
It
think a
shows
lot
that
realize.
okay, all right, Cap's here, but he's whatever.
Yeah.
And Tony's gone. So
she took a leadership role.
she says it. Anything goes on, this line's always open. It goes to
Yeah.
me first. And I was like, assertiveness.
I know we liked it, but they killed her.
Yo, they definitely killed her.
yeah,
She's done.
she's
Why
gone.
would she come back? For what?
I
Yeah.
don't know, because she's got me.
I'm not okay. She died. I wasn't surprised she died.
I was surprised. You're not surprised. I was surprised. Surprised or not?
I was surprised.
Surprised.
To me,
okay,
it was-
so two surprised, one not surprised.
To me, it
when
was
they killed
either-
her, I was like,
What the hell? I can see you like kind of.
I was like, she's got
What the hell?
movies. She's great. Like, there's more to be told here.
That's why I didn't expect it, and I think that's probably why they took that road. To me, in my mind, it came down to either Clint or her.
Yeah.
And the way that they framed that, and the fact that it culminated in that moment of them going there together.
Very intense scene.
I was like,
Very
oh man, this is
dark
actually
scene.
happening the way I kind of expected one of these two to go.
Yeah.
And yeah.
But, like, not to shit on Jeremy Renner. I'm not here to do that. But I feel like
Don't shit on Jeremy Renner.
his storyline.
Don't do it.
I feel like he kind of, like, completed it a little bit in the sense that he transitioned to Ronin. He was, like, just wrecking people.
If they had robbed him of his family and his time, that would have been so infuriating.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It was.
Or, like, he sacrifices himself
To save.
to bring them back.
Sure.
Which
Which could have
holds,
worked. Really could have worked.
like, a lot of weight. And then maybe she is, like...
But they announced the
I
show.
mean-
Spoiled it for us. It could
That's
have
the one-
really
that's the one that
either
got
went.
you.
It could have went either way.
Yeah.
It just got
Yeah,
me
that's the one
because
that got you.
I feel so many different ways about it.
Yeah.
I feel like she should have lived. She should have carried on. I like her so much. I want to see her stories moving forward. I feel like she was so downplayed early on. I'm not okay.
I don't think.
She was like, she was such a like a second.
character.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
Iron Man 2, she was like background, and she's done all of this work, in my opinion, and has become such a fan favorite. Like,
She
good,
has.
good for her.
Well,
She
We
made.
have a movie. We have a movie coming.
Yes, I know. She like made that career happen. She
Well, look
made
at
that
it like
movie
this.
happen.
She debuted in Iron Man 2. Maybe it was right that her and Iron Man got together.
I don't hate that.
I like that idea. And okay, so
Cornerstones.
We're gonna go prequel here. We're gonna go back. We're gonna get our
half full.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I mean, we got to do something for this guy. He's about to cry on camera.
I had such high hopes for her. We talked about this in the last episode that like I want like a. Here's what I would be super happy with. I want a Black Widow like Born Identity.
I said, yeah,
style
absolutely.
trilogy.
I think that's what the
I
movie
want to
will be
like
about,
just
yeah.
break away from the Avengers altogether.
Right.
And just give me some like real out of left field
Espionage.
like espionage level
all
stuff.
right, I'm gonna get this
Bring
for
in
you.
a really sick director, Paul Greengrass, somebody like that can just really take
shout
us
out.
into like take us away from superheroes.
Right.
And just
Go
age-
like
grounded, just
super
grounded,
like
yeah.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.,
real
human level.
bullets.
Yeah.
Just I said this.
I'll be
I want
okay.
a lot of bullets.
I'll be okay. I'll be okay.
I mean,
'cause she
again,
lives on.
like Winter
She
Soldier.
carries on.
Yeah,
They grounded it.
So, and I'm gonna get this for you next time I go make my weekly pool. She has an incredible last run of Tales of Mystery and Suspense, Black Widow.
Yep.
And it's about her, because apparently she died in the last big Marvel story arc, which was when
Secret Wars?
Not Secret Wars. It was
was
when
after that.
Cap was Hydra Cap.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right, Cap kills her, right? And now the story, this next story was about someone is committing these crazy murders and assassinations,
Right.
And Hawkeye is like, I know that it's her, and then along the way, he finds Winter Soldier, and it's like a buddy cop comic book of them trying to hunt down Black Widow.
Huh.
Incredible book.
Well, that brings us to the next chapter of this conversation, which is Hawkeye. We're moving on to Hawkeye. I think for the most part we're kind of all up in the air about the Black Widow death. Like,
Yeah.
it happened. We're gonna
There's
get
more to
of
come.
her.
That's
Yeah.
what's nice
We'll
to
see
know is
more.
that in some
Yeah.
capacity there's more to come.
more to come.
And I'm okay with a prequel.
I'm happy
Okay.
with that. Okay.
I love early espionage, spy shit.
I felt some kind of way about it.
I see.
I did. We're gonna move on. All right. So Hawkeye. Let's talk about him a little bit. Right. He made it through, which
Got
is
home
great.
to see his wife and kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
He got the wife and kids back.
Went to a dark place.
Indeed.
I mean,
Went to a dark place.
If your family just kind of disappears in the middle, like if you guys disappeared
dude,
right now,
by the
in
way,
the middle of thin
now
air,
that we're here-
I'd probably lose.
got rid of the bow and arrow.
Now that we're here,
together.
can we talk about? Again, we saw this movie together, sitting in the theater. Lights dimmed a little bit, the movie starts playing, and we still didn't realize that the movie started.
Yes, yeah.
It's a cold open. It's a cold open. And it starts with the close-up of the bow and arrow, and I was like, I actually made a joke. I was like, and we're in. And then I was like, oh, we are in. I was like, everyone shut up. And the most brutal scene.
Bro, I couldn't imagine.
You're just like, oh, dude, he's happy. Clint, like
he's on house arrest, living his life,
and then
we're looking at the new Hawkeye,
his daughter,
in and of that moment,
yes.
which I thought was interesting that she didn't ever actually come back around
in the
because
movie?
In the trailer, so many people like really bought into the fact.
Put a pin
in
this moment too, because I have a theory about this too.
We were like, oh my god, like here we are, new Hawkeye right here, right? The girl, the daughter, like we're in.
There's something to the kids. They set up a lot of kids.
That was very interesting.
They did set up some children.
Why.
I think there's going to be
he throws the ball,
a young
Avengers, like the and I love ketchup on my hot dogs. So like when he was like ketchup, I was the only one in the movie like
yeah.
The mayo, mayonnaise,
ew, not on a hot dog. But it was just way too intimate, and I don't know if that was intentionally set up to get us into the movie, but we saw the kid, and we saw her twice.
Yep.
We saw her in the beginning, and then we saw her when he enters into the quantum realm, and he yells her name, and she runs down the stairs.
Yes. Well, and at the funeral too.
And at the funeral,
yep.
so we could.
They're seating.
Is there a Hollywood rule of 3? If we see you in a movie, you
obviously she's coming back.
She's coming back.
We're on that.
She's the cast though.
Young Avengers is happening in some capacity.
Oh yeah,
there's going to be something.
Absolutely,
there's going to be something there.
Even if it's a show. I feel like it'll be a show because, Disney rivaling all these other
Cheers for you.
To Doral.
All right, where are we? It's over.
We're back.
Thanos.
Yes. We're just moving on.
We're gonna move on to Thanos. We're moving on.
Hawkeye's done.
I mean, he's got a show.
He's got a show. His daughter, the whole night.
I was happy to see him.
Yep.
I will say this before we move on. To sum it all up, I was very happy to see Clint/Hawkeye get his redemption arc after going to a very dark place, and I love the fact that once again we got to see Hawkeye carry the plot. Like, had it not been for him,
an integral part of the story,
literally hoisting this thing and running his ass off.
That was an amazing, passing the baton type moment,
and for one of the underpowered, powerless characters, it's cool to see
him get shine.
Yeah. I was happy to see him.
We saw him hold it. Spider-Man, Black Panther.
Yes, dude.
Captain
that whole
Marvel.
sequence
was an amazing sequence.
So perfect.
Man. Oh,
a lot of people got to hold it.
I just knew at some point one of them was going to put it on. Just put it on. Just end this shit.
Yeah, you're like, come on,
just put it on.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So anyway, moving on.
Well, that brings us to.
We're back.
Thanos. Raise it up, man.
Put it on.
Raise it up. All right.
Unfortunately, it's snapping this.
Thanos dies twice during this film, and I'm gonna admit that it was a surprise.
Yes.
It was a surprise for me.
There you go.
I was kind of excited when they killed him in the first 30 minutes.
I called this in our theory. I said there's
two
versions of Thanos.
Yeah. And I, for whatever reason, thought, okay, Thanos is dead. There's another villain coming in. I didn't realize
easy to believe too
that he was going to come back. I was very excited because in that moment I was like,
I was shocked when they offed him in the first 5 minutes.
Who else is coming in?
We were all kind of like, okay. Obviously that's the point, but
yeah,
it was great.
They killed it.
It was great.
They did.
And I love that that's what ruined Thor. Like him getting his revenge and going for the head, it ruined him.
Let's kill him properly this time.
It
was
perfect.
Pissed.
Yeah.
It's perfect. He's pissed. I think us seeing Thanos at his worst point, and then also seeing him at his hungriest point, was a great contrast. Because he's like, it's done, it's over. Like, I destroyed the stones. I don't care about any of this anymore.
Yeah, I'm free.
I can eat my soup, which was probably some fire ass soup.
Pretty good soup.
All natural veggies on a strange planet with no pollution.
I want to live there, by the way.
Right.
Where he ends up, was a great. I hope to end up there.
However,
retirement.
We also get to see Thanos. He's walking in and he's wiping blood off his face.
Yeah.
Right? We saw him at his weakest and we saw him at his strongest. And when he's chopping down Cap, Cap's shield with that double-edged sword. I was like, yo, they may not beat this guy.
Right.
Like, I was like, I don't know.
This could be
This could be a repeat. He may wash them again. And Kevin Feige lied to us. He said all the footage was the first 15 minutes.
That's true.
Yeah. That was a good little
That stayed
bait
in my
and switch.
mind.
Bait and switch.
I was paying attention.
All of that
to
battle stuff was from the final battle.
That's
The whole
I
speech
said
about
that in the previous episode.
inevitability and,
I was like, that saber these got or whatever. I was like, there's no way
his whole,
that's in the beginning.
it's brought you back to me. That whole thing is from the.
I knew he was
Act
killing
four.
Thor
Act four,
in that point.
Right.
When he was pushing, I was like, Thor's dead.
Yeah.
But Thanos was amazing.
I agree. My biggest thing here is that in in Infinity War, you did not necessarily see the Mad Titan. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You got this Thanos that was definitely an asshole, and
but
definitely
arrogant
arrogant and also like
a weapon that
purposeful
and
kind of. The movie was meant to make you sort of sympathize with his cause and sort of like, is he the bad guy or is he just on a different path?
And they show you he's the bad guy.
In this movie, you see him, his former self, knowing what would happen to him. You kind of see him actually snap.
I feel
and
like he's fighting a little extra hard.
it's all in that line where he
Just
says, "Now it's personal. I'm going to enjoy this." And it's like that's when you see
Y'all
that
killed
little,
me. Imagine fighting someone who killed you, and you got to see it, and then go back.
And your family betrays you. You know you're like these kids that you raised to be your little, do your bidding. And
that Nebula arc. I know it's not part of our flowchart, but that Nebula arc was.
Sorry, we're gonna get to it.
And that's
we're gonna have
it all together.
We're gonna have a moment.
But yeah, it was cool to see Thanos fully come undone, and just be about.
He was not holding back.
At that moment, it went beyond. Okay, I don't care about balancing the universe anymore. I just want to win.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna hurt you
the
guys.
shit out of y'all and just.
That's where he
enjoy
would've-
it.
yeah.
I just want to enjoy it.
He just went off,
Then I'll get the stones, and you know what? I'm not wiping out half. I'm wiping out all of you.
Done.
I enjoyed
It's all going away.
Yeah, I enjoyed his like reset there, where he was like, "This is."
That was an amazing.
That was the
line
Titan
from him. He's like, you know what?
For half, it's not enough.
After I beat your ass, I'm
stubborn.
Y'all,
You're too stubborn.
your failure brought you back to me.
So it
It
was
was an
perfect.
amazing line. Josh Brolin.
That was everybody's complaint with
He
the character
deserves
last
a
time was that he
little-
didn't live up to being insane.
He
And in
deserves
this
a little
one, you
shout
saw
out.
him go full
like-
on.
Y'all killed me.
I'm
I
just
saw
gonna
y'all
end it.
kill me, so I'm gonna beat y'all ass.
Good for
and-
him.
Oh, it was incredible.
It was great. It was great.
Great Thanos. Oh, man.
And he played it so well.
He did.
Josh Brolin was the perfect Thanos.
Here's the Thanos.
I don't want it back.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's your
You
glove.
You can wear
May
it.
I?
Yeah.
May I?
We've all gotta wear it.
It feels
Well,
good.
we feel good.
It feels good.
Here's what I'll say. It felt good to see Thanos die, like, right in that moment. Like, right off the bat. It was a good little twist. I really enjoyed that. I liked seeing him come back. I felt like his reintroduction into the fold was well done. And I enjoyed
Seeing the writing.
His whole like battle sequence at the end was great. Like the just sitting there waiting for everyone to
It
come
shows
to
that
him.
he doesn't hesitate to kill.
It
I
proves how
like
tough he
that.
was.
Yeah,
Just like,
yeah.
because everybody was kind of asking, like, how did he beat Hulk, with one stone, whatever. He holds his own against everybody for a long time. And it really took every single one of the Avengers, literally every single one
to
that
get
we've
to
seen
him.
To figure it out,
figure out how to beat him up.
Yeah,
So
it was
good.
cool.
It was cool.
So good.
Yep.
like that.
Yep.
All right, well here's the Thanos.
This is the heavy part.
Sorry
mean,
it didn't work out for you, but
Infinity Saga, right? Thanos is the villain,
Okay.
right?
He is.
So,
This is the show. This is like what we talk about.
well, I mean, yeah. Here's the Thanos because he's like the guy, right? So we'll move on.
Time travel.
One piece I want to talk about before we kind of come on to the closing
oh boy,
is the time travel piece because it's such an interesting aspect of the universe. It really changes things in such a dramatic way. Like it's subtle, I feel
it does,
like.
but it doesn't in the way that they used it. And this was my favorite
Yes.
part of the premise of the movie. And I think it's going to take like multiple watches to really
grasp it.
Yeah. But I love that they called out the fact that time travel in a lot of movies is used as this like you can go back and change things
And do this and
you have
do
to be
this.
careful and then the future's going to change based on what you do.
But it doesn't.
They
Yeah.
flip the script in a way that a lot of at least sci-fi in film hasn't really done before in the sense of like you can't alter the timeline unless you pop one of these guys out of the timeline. then it splits.
I think,
or these splits go away.
First of all,
interesting.
I'm just gonna preface this with, I hate time travel.
Yes.
And I hate magic.
Yes.
Okay.
Magic?
So
You hate magic?
Like card magic?
no, just scares me.
Sleight of hand.
Not cards magic, but
I hate magic.
He's like, fuck you.
and movies that because
Do you guys swear on this?
yes.
oh, absolutely. The rules for time travel changes every time you make a movie about time travel.
It's hard to
right? It's hard to have definitive rules, and what it does is it.
Time travel.
It's tricky.
Time travel complicates it.
It complicates it.
It complicates
and it complicates
it.
it in a way I can't understand.
It complicates it in an uncomplicated way.
Here's
which is
where I love
weird
what they did with it.
Anything's possible now.
Here's where I love what they did with it. They set it up. I mean, first of all, Time Stone, Strange, he reiterated time many times over in order to defeat his main villain. That was the whole.
It was shown.
Yeah.
Which another.
It doesn't affect the main timeline as long as the stone is a consistency. So
I'm not disappointed by the fact that he just held back water. I feel like they had to do something with him, and at the beginning of the battle, they were like, "Okay, let's have him just hold back water for the whole fight."
He made a dam out of it.
And he was like, "Okay, guys,
An
I
air
got
dam.
this." And then it was just like he was
it's
gone.
just y'all have this, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch this dam.
I was bummed.
I'm gonna
by
survive
that.
over here.
I wanted to see him
do more with.
I wanted to see
Well,
him
he
do
came in
more
with all his boys. They did when he was
don't know.
raining fire.
Where's
down
the
on-
death?
His whole team. His whole team was doing work.
It
You
just-
could have did
it's-
something else with your magic. Whatever.
We'll go beyond that. The time travel, I thought they addressed it well in this movie because they made it throughout the movie, and it gets fuzzy, and I do need to watch the movie again several times over to fully grasp it. They made it internalized to the movie based on the way that
movie works.
that they explain it. The second you remove one, like if you go back in time, it creates this offshoot timeline, but because they're not horrible people, they don't want to ruin these people's timelines. So Cap promised that he would return the stone to the point that it was taken and erase that timeline as if it never existed. They wouldn't know, and it puts everybody
it comes
exactly.
back.
It puts it right back on course.
Why wouldn't they look at this situation and go, okay, we got to go back to the moment that this all went south.
They left it at a point where you can't undo things because Tony's gone. They can't replicate the exact formula to do it as well as he did it. Mm-hmm. We saw that with Hulk and Cap at the end. It's not perfect anymore. He comes back old, maybe by choice or maybe not. But I thought that, with the exception of one timeline, I thought about this was the thing that really kept me up.
Get there,
I was up till 4 in the morning. I was up till 4 in the morning thinking about the time travel moment. The only inconsistency I could find with this after one watch, and I may be wrong about this because I need to see it again, but the potential for the Loki in 2014 getting away with the Space Stone, I thought that maybe because he got away with it, that branch might continue. And I know that he has a show coming, and I wonder if the Loki that we're gonna get is the God of Mischief in that separate leg of time. So. Yeah. And I think that could be a way for them to let a show like that be itself without affecting anything that the movies have going on.
Absolutely.
Because other than that, it looks to me as though at the end of the movie, Cap comes back and he buttoned up all the other offshoots that they accidentally created by stealing the stones. So I think everything else was buttoned up and it's good, and we know nothing else changed. Except Loki. That's the only one I could think might be an issue.
So this is my problem, okay? It can go either way, okay? If Cap stays for a long time, which the movie doesn't really interpret it for us, right? It just kind of like, and within that 3-minute scene, it's like, oh, Cap, oh, he doesn't come back, oh, he's back old. How long was he really there? Right? Because he had to have been there for a long time for him to come back.
His whole life.
Old,
he lived a life somewhere.
And in the rules of their time travel, an hour equals...
Well, it couldn't mean anything.
Right.
Basically, what I gathered from the way they explained it is the suit and the little watch thing, it syncs them to the point at which they left. What they do in the interim has no factor on what they experience in that present moment where they left. It always feels like 5 or 10 seconds to them. So what I gathered from it was that at some point, Cap went,
I'm not coming back.
I'm gonna change this, and I'm gonna live a whole life, and I'm gonna also not. Because what was it that kept them from aging? It was kind of. Was it the suit, or was it just the fact that they were not there for that long? He just lived a full life on a different timeline and then canceled it out. I think that's what happened.
See, this is why I hate time travel.
It's confusing. It's confusing. The way I
don't have a definitive answer.
And I think we'll find out more about it. I have a feeling they're going to dive more into this idea that the multiverse is there, and we don't understand it yet. And I think they can play off that a lot.
Secret Wars
I think I think the TV shows, the fact that now maybe they can bring in some of these Sony characters that they've acquired outside of what they've had so far. I think Mr. Fantastic. The X-Men. I think
because we need another big brain. We don't have one.
Such a rabbit hole.
How else do you not get to these places again? And you said it way earlier in the show, but like we need a replacement for Stark.
We need a big brain.
Who better than Reed Richards? Yeah. Like I gotta think all these things are gonna come into play down the line. Phase 4, 5 might be very.
I think it's gonna be 5. I think 4 is gonna be kind of like
setting the.
Sorry guys, we're gonna give you some movies to kind of hold you over, but then 5 is where it's gonna turn up again.
Yeah. It's very interesting. It's too much for me to understand.
I don't.
Time travel sucks.
I said I funked out of science.
The time travel piece.
The way I look at it
really
is this:
complicated.
the second you start to try to explain it, it becomes not fun anymore.
Yeah.
If you start to think about the science of what these movies are trying to do, just don't do it to yourselves.
And I
enjoy these movies for what they are.
In the movie is when Rhodey and Ant-Man are shooting off all of the pop culture references to time movies, and they even say hot tub time.
Yes, it's perfect.
I know, it's so good.
It's perfect.
It's so good, but it's not helpful in the movie.
It's not.
It's so good.
It's not, because I'm trying to remember all of the rules from each one of those.
Yeah.
It doesn't help.
Shout out Black Panther for
Good call.
bringing my favorite scene in the whole movie was that portal opening back up, and it clicked in my head that it was like, oh, they're coming back from the moment they left. They left. Yes. So the big portal opens up, and it's literally everybody in Wakanda, the entire Wakandan army, walks through that giant portal and just does the same chant.
Yes.
And it's like,
you gotta think about it.
Let's go. I was so pumped.
And Spider-Man points this out. He's like, I don't know. I woke up on the planet, and Doctor Strange is like, it's been 5 years. We gotta go.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Time.
I don't know. Some weird spell. Doctor Strange is kind of explaining this to everyone.
Yeah.
But T'Challa walks through that portal like, all right, we here.
It was the same fight. In his mind, he comes
the
through,
same fight.
He's like, wait, something's
I
different.
didn't think
However,
about
just
that.
carrying over.
It's the same
all
fight.
of them.
He's about the whole army.
I did not think about that.
The whole
But then
army's about to do.
It's the same fight.
They're about to open the
They're
gates.
just keeping on keeping.
Okay, all right, let's go.
Yeah, I guess this is.
man.
Keeping on keeping.
That's what made it so badass was the fact that he didn't bat an eye. As
They
far
had like a 5-minute reset. He's like, run it back.
I guess we're doing this again.
Go back. All right, cool.
Yeah, it was so sick.
That's tough. All right, rapid fire round.
Go.
All right, so the rapid fire round, we're gonna drop some big hitters here, and this is like a 1-sentence answer. We're not going deep. We're not going deep here.
I'm gonna have a hard time.
All right, so here's the first one. I'm gonna run it by you. Best quantum realm moment. Your favorite new old scenes.
So many. My favorite is when
one.
Tony is having the heart attack and Thor takes the hammer and he's like,
I don't know if this is gonna
that could
work.
work. And he does. He's like, I didn't even know that was gonna work. That was my favorite scene. There's so many scenes that kind of give you, but what they did is they went back and they encompassed that comedic element of Thor back to Avengers 1. And he's like, I didn't even know if that was gonna work. Well, like, get up, Tony.
I have to personally shout out. I mean, Loki is one of my favorite characters.
Yes.
Everybody's favorite characters. Seeing the little aside of him, like being let out.
Like he saw everything.
He's a god of mischief, and he's being let out by the police of Earth, going down
Well,
in
his
an
brother
elevator.
was there. It's not really much.
Going down in an elevator, just seeing the little bit of like the aside of what happened between him at the top of the building, just him eye rolling and just being like, "What the hell?
Like, come on,
I'm above this.
I'm only not out of here as my brother."
Just bonus content of Loki. I'm in.
So much good content.
My favorite new old scene was the Tony Stark and his father.
Oh, total feels because he gets
That moment
a
is
real
just so impactful.
vulnerable moment
So
in
impactful.
Tony because his best friend's best friend killed his parents.
Yeah.
Right? He never got to say goodbye. We see in Civil War the last moment that he sees them leave. So for him to have that, and that's again great writing.
That's a great point,
for
actually,
his story arc is I finally get to say goodbye to
He
my
forgives his father.
dad. Right? He forgives him for being a dick.
Yeah.
And his father says, just my passions versus my needs. My passion.
And you see the parallel.
Yeah.
They were essentially the same person. Like they couldn't let go of their.
So
It was good. It was good.
So good.
Good point.
That was my hit.
Good
All right,
point.
so most unexpected storyline, best twist. What at the end of the day, what was it that hit you the most? That was like I didn't see that coming.
The nebula.
Yeah.
The nebula brain frequency.
dual nebulas.
Right?
Right.
Dual nebulas.
I didn't know that was going to be a linchpin. Source material, right? Nebula is a crucial part of the original Infinity Gauntlet story. For them to kind of write her in with that aspect was she was still a linchpin.
Yeah.
She still had an incredible arc, right?
Yep.
She went from being totally horrible person.
Literally kills her horrible
She
person.
kills
self.
her. Yes, she kills her horrible person self.
Yeah.
And then her and her sister get out of there.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
No one saw that coming. I
didn't see
It was
that coming
great.
at
And the fact
all.
that they synced up once they were in the same.
It also shows us
stream.
that space technology surpasses Earth technology.
They synced up. She was on
Yeah.
Bluetooth. It was like she
like,
airdropped memories to herself.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, I would say most unexpected. I mean, it's cheap, but like just the early Thanos head chopped off.
I didn't expect
I
that.
didn't see that coming at all.
Which is great.
It's a really simple one, but I literally was like, oh, okay.
And
that's our movie.
We're in this
Yeah.
from the jump. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with mine was the Black Widow death.
Yeah.
I didn't see it coming. I just, for whatever reason, in that moment, I thought that it was gonna be Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Like I just thought that was gonna be.
I knew he was going.
Having watched his family in the beginning, I thought that like that was gonna be like the big thing. Like he did this to save his family and to bring them back because
They touched on all of those points, man. Like they brought it back to Age of Ultron, where she's the only person that knows about Hawkeye's family.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and
She has no one, and she knows he has people.
and
so she's kind of like,
and it's like he saved her from whatever she was going through and brought her to S.H.I.E.L.D. So it was just great to finally see their arcs reach a point.
that was her Tony moment.
Yeah.
That was her chance to be like, you have more than I do.
Great.
Yeah.
All right. I love that. Moving on. All right, this is an interesting one.
Okay.
Who should have died that didn't die? Because I feel like, at least for me, I
seen
look
the
at it
Hulk,
and I think there are people that like.
I'll say
lived
this,
that shouldn't have lived.
and it
but-
goes actually back to your point and the way that Clint and Black Widow part ways. I thought that scene was going to pan out differently. I definitely expected them to go back to what planet is it?
Not Vormir.
It's not
Vorag.
Yes.
Yeah.
I expected them to go back. I expected them to have that whole Red Skull reenactment. I thought Cap was going to be there. I thought it was going to be the three of them, the agents, and I thought it was going to be one of those lines where you get a "we don't trade lives" thing, and I thought Cap was maybe going to sacrifice himself for the stone so that they could get out. I thought that's how, originally going into this movie, I thought that's how Cap was going to go out.
It's just so much that could have happened. Yeah.
That would have been such a good way to outro him.
So I thought Cap was maybe going to sacrifice
sacrificed
himself
himself.
in the middle of the movie.
Who
But
should have died? I wanted Hulk to die after he snapped. I was just like, I get him. I'm done with it.
especially Professor Hulk, we're done. We're done with you.
We're done with you,
We're
man.
done with you. You're boring.
Ooh, God, who should have died? I don't know. You know what? This is. Hello.
Dogs are barking.
I, for whatever reason, thought that we would see the outro of Nick Fury.
He's back. He dusted.
I just thought that like we would see him maybe not come back.
No, he's gotta come back. We
I
seen him
don't
come
know.
back in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I know.
They had to let these actors go. From a practical standpoint.
They're done. You can't keep paying them hundreds of millions of dollars to keep coming back.
I love that Tony was the one that got to I'm Iron Man snap perfect. I thought Cap's send off was
It
poetically-
leaves room just in
it was
case.
poetically nice, and I think it allows for him to be a guide to the
Whoever's left.
the Falcon.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm kind of with you. I sort of wish that he had said his whole thing this entire time is I can do this all day and we don't trade lives.
Yeah.
And I was sort of
He traded lives.
I was sort of thinking that at like some point in the middle of the movie he would be the one to be like, we have to trade lives and it won't be any of you.
It'll be me.
It's got to be me.
No.
And I kind of wish he got to do that, but you know that's just what we hope for and we don't get. I still loved what they did.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, favorite film.
Personal favorite is goddamn Winter Soldier, man. Cap 2. Just because it's the first one we see that's eye to the ground.
Yeah.
On top of that, fight choreography is A1. You don't see anything
Yep.
like that throughout the... And that's what I thought we were going to get in Cap 3 with Cap and T'Challa. My man, I was going to see just crazy choreographed fights. You don't see
All
it.
right.
Didn't do it the same way.
Cap or your Civil War?
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier, Cap 2.
Winter
Yeah.
Soldier.
I would agree with you
Okay.
for sure.
As a personal favorite.
Absolutely, but I'm gonna pivot because you said it. I'm gonna say Avengers 1. Here's why. I know that it's controversial.
Slightly.
But I love what Joss Whedon did for a lot of the peripheral characters.
Mm-hmm.
I think if it weren't for him helming that movie, we would not be invested in Black Widow. We would not be invested in Hulk, Hawkeye.
Yeah.
All of these
fair.
characters that
That's
became defining characters for the rest of the series. I'm not saying it's a perfect movie. I'm not saying it's the best in that sense, but I think without it and without his vision, it probably wouldn't have carried on the way it did. And so and also it's the first movie where you get that
his 360, we were talking
the
about
360
his
shot, which they come back to in this movie of the Avengers assembled, and it was like, you know, with that full circle moment in mind,
Absolutely.
I'm going for that one. But Winter Soldier,
But Winter Soldier.
yeah,
I'm a Guardians guy.
oh, that's
Which is
valid.
Guardians
So
1
good.
was the first like offshoot that like just really.
And what people
Clicked
don't
on it.
realize about Guardians 1, it had so many Easter eggs. Like up until last year, they hadn't found all of the Easter eggs that were in it. And for me,
Howard the Duck.
like one of the
Indeed.
personal Easter eggs was all of the the small subtle things Thanos had done to Gamora
Yes.
right?
They seeded it really early.
They saw us early. I had no clue, and I'm like, I watched the movie at least 6 times,
And they're still referencing Ronan now.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's so nice to see those callbacks.
One of my gripes about Captain Marvel. We'll get there. We'll talk about it off screen. But her, like when they do the scan of her, and it's like, oh, cybernetic skeleton. It makes sense.
Yep.
She can jump. She can jump off of cliffs, and she's
She's modified.
Marvel's done a great job at threading the small things, so all of them make sense.
Coming to the close here.
Let's go.
We obviously all loved, and
Oh, loved
it
it.
seems like most people did.
Absolutely.
Give me one thing that you disliked about
I don't
Endgame.
want to answer that question.
I said it.
You can
I feel
pass
like
it.
we kinda-
You can pass it
kinda
if you
talked
want.
about it.
You can say, "Hey, I got nothing." But give me one thing
I'm
that
gonna
you
go
disliked.
face value and say what was done with the Hulk. Hulk
Didn't
is
like
one of
the
my
Hulk.
favorite comic book characters.
They botched the Hulk.
And I just feel like I'm not gonna say they botched. I don't even. It just wasn't up to my personal standard.
For one of the core Avengers, he felt like he got paid dirt in this movie.
All right, so you're with the Hulk.
Hulk, man.
I mean, that's me. That's where I
You're
was
on the
too.
Hulk as well?
I was not a fan. I will also say that I think the mystic side of things got a little lost
Okay.
outside of that first scene between Banner and the Ancient One.
Which is so
That was-
good.
that was
scenes.
perfect. That scene was perfect.
They explain time travel perfect. It's like
But when
you can leave.
But when they're all back, it's kind of like it felt like they didn't know how to write them in and make it fit into the convenient 3 hours, which I understand. But I felt like the mystic side of things got also
The magic. I hate magic.
it got paid dirt a little.
Magic and time travel are two things you
Don't
cannot-
mess with it. Learn the lesson,
cannot
guys.
Explain that.
It's
man.
too hard.
Oh, man, I hate it so much.
All right. So mine was I think the introduction of Endgame was a little slow.
first act, first hour.
Yeah, I felt like it was kind of an hour that was a little slow.
It was really sad.
While like emotional and sad,
Yeah.
it just felt like I was waiting for the fight. Like I was waiting for the battle. I was waiting for the culmination.
I got one more. I'm sorry. I got one more.
Get into it.
Go.
That's what we're here for.
When everybody came back, Ant-Man, who was such a massive part of this movie, and his partner finally comes back from the dead, and
it was just kind of
and they just kind of go,
hi.
True.
Yeah.
Indeed.
and we're back in.
There was never even a moment of like
He
redemption.
says, I've lost important people.
I know for
He's
them-
talking about her.
Yeah, I know for her it felt like nothing, and she comes back and maybe she's like, okay, let's
She's
go.
like, I was gone for 5
But
minutes.
The fact that he's not a bit more like,
I was in love with you.
whoa,
And you were
it
gone.
was just breezed over a little.
You were
quickly.
supposed to pull me out.
Yeah.
Like he says it. He's like, she was also, but she,
MVP of the movie, the rat.
the rat. He instigated all. He was the catalyst for all of the events.
Strange looked through all of the possibilities, and that was the one where a rat just kicks
A
it
rat
off.
kicks him out.
Hey.
And he comes. So good.
Love it. I love it. God. Was that a nod to Scorsese, by the way?
It's been an
Was the
exhausting-
rat step like being?
exhausting episode.
Was that like a nod to the town or not the town?
No.
You know what I'm talking about?
It's
Scorsese. Departed.
Yeah.
So the rats always signify like someone's about to go the other way, and in this movie it was like the rat fixed everything.
So the next time you come back, we're gonna do an episode all about rats.
Yeah.
In popular movies.
Rats that saved the day. Splinter.
Splinter.
Ratatouille.
All right, to keep us on pace here,
Yeah, man.
so we don't get lost in the weeds.
Because
We're gone. We're
The
so far
next
gone.
step.
I get
I
lost
know.
in all the weeds.
Yeah.
I could keep talking for a long time. Where do we go next? One sentence or less.
In one sentence or less.
Where do we go
That
next?
was one sentence right there.
You're done.
Disney has acquired Fox.
Yeah.
We will see the X-Men and Fantastic Four in 5 to 10 years.
Bam.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna say we go to space. I think they need to dive more into the, the intergalactic, the
Okay,
magic.
I'm with that.
Not necessarily the magic, but like the bigger picture.
Their next
Where
big
did Thanos
thing
come
is
from?
the
Where
Eternals.
did
Yep.
exactly
coming.
exactly the
was-
Celestials,
All that, all the history. of
Galactus?
MCU.
I don't know. Maybe.
I was gonna say Guardians.
Just
It's my
great setup.
it's
I didn't
my-
think about that. Yeah.
That's my projection.
What?
Well, I think the Guardians take it.
Exactly.
Like
Into
they
space.
move
Go
it
back out.
forward. They make it forward.
And it makes sense with all the powered characters. Like we have, Captain Marvel
Thor,
is
Captain
too strong.
Marvel.
Thor is
Yes,
too strong.
yes,
There's all these
yes,
characters that now don't belong on
Indeed.
Earth. And if you set it on Earth, everyone's too weak.
Yeah.
Earth
You
is
gotta
kind of low key right now.
get out of here.
Boom.
That's it.
All right. We're nearing the end of this episode, which is really exciting. All right, so
mic keeps
we're gonna
falling.
grade
That's
the
bad.
whiskey.
It's all bad
That's
now.
first and
Whistle
foremost.
pig.
So we're
Whistle
here
pig.
at the whistle pig. This is the 10, and we do a grading system on this, and that is an
Are
A
you
through
familiar
an
with
F
There
situation.
you
Everyone's familiar with A through F. We've all
got
been
a
there.
lot of
So
Fs.
all you gotta do is
had
just
F whiskey?
make a determination.
Just my grades. I mean,
All you gotta do is make a determination.
Having flashbacks.
Where does this fall for you? A through F.
Me?
I'll start with you.
It's sharp. Reminds me of like a Jack or like a Jim Beam.
Yeah.
I'll put it at a nice, I'll take some more. A nice B minus, because I'll say it's, if I needed something to kind of just like have on my bar, but I wanted it to be obscure and everyone not really know what it is, I'd go Whistle Pig. That, like, it would be my next step up from Jack as a nice.
I'm with you on that. It's a lot of mash, which is what Jack is. It's a little bit less burn than Jack Daniels, which I like. I appreciate that you can sip it without ice, without mixing it.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And you can still appreciate it. I love this whiskey in an old fashioned. I really do. It balances well with a little bit of bitters and ice and the rest. But I'm gonna go B.
B. Ooh, be.
Ooh, that's solid.
So I'm highly generous. I know you've watched it, but
I like this.
I'm
whiskey.
highly
I've had
generous
it
with
before.
my grades, and Taylor is like he's a
Not so
like,
generous.
Here's the thing: I don't know enough about whiskey.
he is.
So if you're
this guy
the
is-
expert,
he's schooled me.
There was a minute where I was like C-, but I didn't want to be that
too. I
guy.
got real dark.
I didn't want to
No,
be that
here's
guy.
the truth. Here's the truth. Whistle Pig is great. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give it a B.
Okay,
It's
all right,
fantastic. But
There
the
you go.
problem with Whistle Pig, and I
You've
will say this
completely-
honestly, the problem with Whistle Pig is it's overpriced.
Oh.
Okay.
It's fantastic, and they recently.
What's the price tag? Give me an example.
So like,
that's a pint.
He's like, I took it off.
okay, so first
That's
of all,
a pint.
this is extremely unusual. So we got this in an unboxing episode. So this is like a very like you can't just buy this, but normally you're probably like $50-$60.
For a pint? No.
Yeah.
For
The
like
big,
a fifth.
bigger version?
The bigger.
I mean, if you're gonna go to
The Infinity Gauntlet of whiskey.
$60, $70 for like a full on, for a full on.
Hell no.
It's
Sorry,
great.
Whistle Pig.
With that, however, and like, what's tough is they have a lot of other iterations that are way
I'd
more
pay $20 for
expensive.
that.
They have a Boss Hog that's like $500. But anyway, they've recently released a version of this. I can't remember the exact name off the top of my head, but that is supposed to be priced a little bit lower, but it's not out yet. They've just been talking
That's
about
smart.
it.
That's smart. That's what you do.
Indeed,
Yeah.
because they need to.
Yeah.
This it's a little pricey. I think it's good.
They've established themselves as a good, solid whiskey.
It's a great
yeah.
whiskey, but price-wise, they got to figure that out. And so
I
that's
haven't
where I'm
seen
at.
it.
Is this
out-
this is the rye? Yeah. So-
And I would put this. I
haven't seen it enough in
do
the
it.
like general public to just spend $20 on it personally for like that size.
I like it.
I like it,
Rye.
B
B-, right?
B minus. All right, great,
not
very
bad.
good. Rate the movie. 5 bottles to 1 bottle. 5 bottles or 1 bottle.
As a movie, $5.
5 bottles.
I mean, as someone that's invested 10 years into this
It did an
franchise,
incredible
it
service
does-
to me.
Yeah, there's a few
Thank
things
you.
that we
like.
could yeah.
Damn. Like, thank you.
5. I mean, it's just
5.
it's wonderful. It's beautiful. It's everything you wanted, for the most part.
5 bottles.
4.9 bottles.
Like 9 bottles.
It's like someone
Son of
opened
a
one and
bitch.
just took a swig. Isn't it?
All right. I'm gonna give it 5 bottles.
I don't have a
I
reason
feel like
not
it delivered.
to.
I feel like it delivered. It did for the most part.
Everyone.
There are things you can always hate on these kinds of things for stories and directors not making the choices that you wanted to see. You see that all the time in film these days, especially with these franchises. But I think they crushed
Even
it.
as upset I am with how the Hulk story arc
Right.
ended, I'm
It's-
still
you
happy
accept
that
it.
it went to
You accept
a
it.
point that's acceptable. Like,
All right.
God damn.
That's it, guys.
Marvel, thank you.
Thank you.
Well done.
All right. And because you're our guest, Alex, tell us what you got going on in your life.
Yeah,
Give us a
Alex.
little, give us a little shout out.
I have a new band called Simple Creatures. We have songs that are out now. We just put out a video for a song called Adrenaline, so please check that out if you get a chance.
Awesome.
I have a bar, a brewery that I am affiliated with in the Baltimore area called Full Tilt. And this is one of my favorite beers that we make. And so if you're in the area ever, please check it out. It's dope. Thanks for having me, guys.
And
This was
our
cool.
first celebrity guest.
This was fun. I
man.
really, I
Here
love
it
this.
is.
Cheers.
Cheers
Bad Guys Suburban.
to the end game.
All time
Well
love.
done.
All the shit you got going on.
We're in the end game.
We're in the end game. Let's do it.